A freelance journalist held hostage in Somalia, beaten, chained, and abused in some of the worst ways imaginable, will now see her story come to Hollywood. Canadian Amanda Linhout had just arrived in Mogadishu in August 2008 when traveling with her crew, when their vehicle was ambushed.
We were taken hostage, and I spent 460 days in captivity.
Her captors, some as young as 14, held her and her Australian photographer Nigel Brennan for more than a year. Every day was a nightmare.
At the worst times in captivity, I had chains around my ankles. I was in a pitch black room.
Linhout was beaten and sexually assaulted in conditions so bad, she says, fungus grew on her skin. Ultimately, she says their families pooled their money to pay a hefty ransom of $600,000. And then, freedom. Linhout has since co-authored a book about her experience. A House in the Sky is a New York Times bestseller, and now it's headed to the silver screen. Actress Rooney Mara of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo will star in the drama, Linhout says. The book's been picked up by the production company behind Zero Dark 30.
Where was the last time you saw Bin Laden?
And American Hustle.
People believe what they want to believe.
But the journalist's story isn't just about what she suffered.
Those 460 days in captivity for me were ultimately almost like a spiritual experience where I really discovered something about the strength of the human spirit that is alive inside of all of us.
She grew, and she forgave.
When one human can create suffering for another, it always comes from a place of their own suffering. And those were young men whose life circumstances had created for them a great deal of suffering.
And Linhout hopes to stop that cycle. She started an organization to help educate and empower Somalian women and children, the Global Enrichment Foundation. The hope is that little boys and girls like these change one of the poorest and most dangerous places in the world to a nation of growth and peace. Jessica King, CNN.